Hello, everyone. Here we are again at our second Screencastify. First one went pretty well. I did not hear from anyone that they were unable to view it, so that's a good thing. So we are starting, as you can see, with a blank computer screen. That's my family in the background, obviously. I think that photo was taken 3 years ago. So that's an old picture. My children are much larger now. But anyway, there we are at the beach. So the reason we are starting with a blank screen today is because we are going to walk through the process of setting up your papers in MLA format. I shared this information with you via the announcements, but I'm going to show you in your book as well. So there is some help for you on page 588. It shows you what your paper will look like. And I'm going to walk you through the whole process, but if you need a quick reference throughout the semester, I recommend like putting a Post-it or folding over the page from page 588. It's going to help you. Everything you're going to submit from here on out is going to have to be set up in MLA format, except your journals. Those are informal. They do not need to be set up, but everything else does. That includes major writing assignments and minor writing assignments. Again, discussion boards do not have to be set up, and journal entries do not have to be set up in MLA format because those are very informal. But everything else has to be set up in MLA format. So that's what we're going to go over today. So I'm going to walk you through the entire process. You do have an assignment coming up at the end of this week. You're going to submit a paraphrase on Friday, and your paper does need to be set up in MLA format. So here we go. This is how you're going to do it. So obviously, you need some sort of typing document software, whether it's Microsoft Word. I have a Mac. I don't know if you can tell from my computer screen. Probably not. I don't know how Screencastify works exactly. But anyway, I have a Mac. So I use Microsoft Word. If you're on a PC, you can use Microsoft Word. Obviously, some of you have Google Chrome. You can use I can't remember what the Google Chrome version of Microsoft Word is called. But whatever you type documents in Google Chrome, you can use that as well. And you can figure things out. But obviously, this tutorial is going to be on Microsoft Word. So hopefully you all can have access to that. You all have access to it through the university. But let me know if you have any questions. If you are using Chrome, I can try to help you figure out some things, but honestly, I'm not great with Google Chrome. So here we go. Here's what you're going to do. So again, we're going to be doing this through Microsoft Word. So I'm just going to open up Microsoft Word, obviously. I'm going to open up blank document, okay? And I have nothing but a blank document in front of me, okay? So as you can see at the top here, again, because I'm on a Mac, every time you open a Word document, this is what you get. You're in Calibri text. That is not what MLA wants. MLA wants everything to be very uniform and very formal. So the very first thing that we are going to do is we are going to change our font to Times New Roman 12, okay? Everything you're going to type this semester is going to be typed in Times New Roman 12. And I have students every semester who start typing their essay in whatever font the computer picks up or starts up in, and then they try and go back and change it, but then they have, in order to do that, you have to highlight a section. So as soon as you click out of that highlighted section, it's back to what it was before. So just make your lives easier and change it to Times New Roman at the very beginning. All right. So all you're going to do, obviously, is click on the font. Sometimes if you've used it recently, it'll be up here. If not, I mean, you can scroll all the way down to T, or you can just start to, now I can't get it back. All right. Anyway, you can also start to type it into the box, but I scroll down and my box disappeared. So I'm just going to come down here and I'm going to click on Times New Roman. There. Now, everything I type in this document is going to be in Times New Roman. Okay. So I'm following along with page 588. I hope that you are as well, because that is how we are going to set up our page. So the very first thing on the top of the page, if you look on page 588 in the top right-hand corner, you will see someone's last name and you will see the number 1, okay? Everything you submit is going to have a running header. So here is how we are going to insert our running header. We are going to go to, sorry, there it is. I was in the wrong insert. So we're going to go to insert. And again, yours may look a little bit different. If you're not on a Mac, if you're running a different version, it might look a little bit different, but overall, they're all the same. So your insert might be in a different place, but it's still there, I promise. So you're going to go to insert and you're going to go over to header. Now, when you do that, you're going to get all different kinds of headers because people like to put all different kinds of things in their papers. Some want them to look a little bit fancier. They've got lines at the top. Some of them have sort of a 3-column setup, like right here. But that is not what we want. So what you're going to do is you're going to scroll a little more than halfway down, maybe like 2/3 of the way down. The one that we are going to use for this class, we are going to use Ion Light. Okay, and you may be saying, why am I using this particular one when there's hundreds of others? Well, that's an excellent question, and I will tell you why. So can you see here how all of these have a page number in the top right-hand corner, or some of them have the page number on the left, and that's not what we want. That's not how MLA has us set it up. We need our page number in the right, but some of these headers, and I only know this because I've been doing this for a million years, some of these headers, if you type 1 on page 1, it doesn't count up the pagination. So every page says page 1. That's not going to help us. We need to know that page 3 is actually page 3. Okay, so I'm going to click on Ion Light. All right, but if you will notice, so my page number is over here on the right. That's where I want it. But if you look on the left, you'll see that's where my cursor is. So if I were to start typing, that's where I would start typing. So make sure you move your cursor, click in front of the 1, and you are going to type your last name. So this one, we will do a paper for Jane Doe. So we've got a last name and we've got a page number, but perhaps you have noticed that it is blue and it is not in Times New Roman. So all we're going to do is we're going to highlight it. And for those of you who are on PCs, you may have gotten a little box here that popped up to change the font. I don't have that on a Mac, so I'm just going to come back over here, going to go to Times New Roman. And my color is also kind of funky, so I'm going to change that too. So I'm going to go right here to font color. Again, yours may be in a slightly different place, but I promise that it's there. So we're going to change it to black. Now it looks exactly like it does on page 588. Okay, so your header is now done. And to get out of your header, you're just going to click somewhere else in the document. Okay. This part you don't have to do at home. I'm going to show you something just for the sake of demonstration. So you'll see here on page 1, it says Doe 1. I'm just going to enter down. Bear with me for a second. So now I'm going down to page 2. There it is. So you will notice that it has counted up for me. Page 2, in fact, says page 2. Page 3 will say page 3, and it will count all of your pages from 1 to 1,000,000. That's what we want. We want page numbers that actually count up. All right. That part you didn't have to do. I just kind of wanted to show you where I was going with that. So now I am back on the top line. I'm at the very beginning of my document. I don't need to change my font anymore because look, it's already here done for me. So now I'm going to just go ahead and set up my page. So on the top left, we have a name. That is where your name is going to go, not mine. Okay, so this paper belongs to Jane Doe. All right. Oh, wait, you know what? Before we do that, all right, rewind, pretend that didn't happen. Okay. The other thing that we have to do in MLA format is if I were to start typing right now, I'm typing my document. If I were to start doing that, everything is single spaced. That is the way that your documents are automatically set up, is to be single spaced, but we don't want that. We want them to be double spaced. Okay. So we're just going to go ahead and get rid of that. And we are going to set up our page so that everything is double spaced. You can do that a couple of different ways. You can do it through layout. You can But the easier way to do it is once you're on your home screen, see this button right here. It's got an up and down arrow. It's got some lines going through the middle. This is what you want. So right now the 1 is clicked. This is the easiest way to do it. Again, there are other ways to do it. This is just the one that I think is easiest. So click on this icon and then just bring it down to 2. Okay. Now, when you start typing, it is going to automatically bring the next line down 2 spaces. See, they're not on top of each other like they were in the last time when they were single spaced. All right. So now we're really going to get started because we are double spaced. And you can always check your spacing. Just click on this, see what's checked, and that's where you are. All right. So back to our first line. It is Jane Doe. Then we are going to go down to our next line. If you look in your book and on page 588 in the top left-hand corner, what is on the next line is your professor's name. So you don't have to type my first name. You can just type Professor Eaton. That is good enough for us. All right, then our next line down, line number 3, is the class. So students always type this a number of different ways. As long as all the information is there, I don't really care how it is typed, but you are going to type your class name. So for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to type out English 095, and you guys are section 4. Okay, and you do want to label it section 4 because there are always tons of English sections running every semester, and 004 is our section. Sorry, I'm doing a lot of talking. All right. Then the next line is the date. But if you are following along on page 588, you will notice that the date looks a little bit different than we typically see the date. MLA has us set up our date differently. When we say date, so today I'm doing this on Sunday. Today is September 6th. That's the way that we all say dates, right? We do the month first and then the day. MLA has us set it up with the day first. Okay, so in your book it says 4 May 2018. So you are going to label this, I'm going to label it with today's date. You are going to label it with the day that you hand in an assignment. Okay, so you have an essay due, your paraphrase due this coming Friday. That's September 11th. All right, so if you're working on it on Wednesday or Thursday or whatever day that you are working on it, make sure that you don't write the date that you are typing it. Make sure that you write the day that it is due. So I'm just going to write today's date. So I'm going to type out 6 September. And if you are in Microsoft Word, as soon as you type the first couple of letters of the date, it automatically pops up for you. It is assuming that you want to type September. So I'm just going to push enter to insert. And there is 6 September. And then if I hit space again, it gives me, I don't know why it's telling me September 3rd. Today is not September 3rd. So I'm just going to ignore that and I'm going to type the correct date. So this is what the top of your paper should look like. Your name, my name, class, date. All right. So that is your header. On the next line, again, for those of you following along in your books, you will notice that there is a title in the middle of the page. All right. Sometimes students will like type their title way down here, and then they'll start their essay way down here. We don't want to do that. If you're on page 588, you will notice that there are no extraneous and unnecessary spaces. So we are just going to come right down to the line after the date, and we are going to write the title. So let's pretend that this is my paraphrase of literacy behind bars. But if you are following along with the book, you will notice that the title is actually in the center of the page. So for those of you who are familiar with Microsoft Word, you know exactly how to do that. All you have to do is come up here and click this one right here. It's the one with the lines of text sort of centered. And if you hover your mouse over it, of course, it will tell you. So if I clicked on this, it would align it on the right. But I'm going to click this and it is going to center it right in the middle of the page. Please do not do this. Some people type it here and then they just tab it over a couple of times and say, oh, that looks good, except it's never really in the center of the page because of course you didn't hit center. So just go ahead and hit center. It'll make your life easier and it will actually be centered. All right, so then you're going to just start typing your whatever it is that you're typing. You're going to start it right on the next line. So just hit enter. But remember, you were centered to do your title. So just bring it back on over to the left by clicking this. And then you're going to indent. To indent, you hit tab. Don't hit space 2 times or 3 times or 4 times or 5 times. Just hit tab. It will take you over exactly where it wants you. And this is where you are going to start typing the body of your essay. Okay. And when you go over to the next line, when you start to move into the next line, ... you can see that the next line of text was automatically brought over to the left-hand column. So this is exactly what it should look like. Your first line is tabbed in. Second line and all of the other lines will be lined up on the left. And then again, when you start typing your second paragraph, you're going to hit tab again. So the indent indicates that you have begun typing a new paragraph. Oops, graph. Okay. And then again, the next line will be back on the left. There we go. So this is how you are going to set up your papers going forward for everything that you submit this semester. Again, not discussion board posts and not journal entries. Those are informal, but everything else you type should be set up just like this. All right. And again, the page is 588. This will be linked for you on the announcements page. Make sure you look at the announcements page. There's lots of there's a lot of information for you there this week, and hopefully the answers to any questions that you may have. But the first couple of weeks have gone pretty well so far, I think. Please reach out if you're having any issues. And just to let you know, we are going to do our first Blackboard Collaborate Ultra meeting on Tuesday night. So hopefully I will see you guys all there. All right, now I have to figure out how to end this session.